Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's the Jade Gemini. Tonight I'm super excited to go on and bring you a review of this little guy right here. This is the Anker 321 wireless MagSafe attachable charger or power bank. So today what I'm going to go over is I'm going to go over what I like, what I love, what I dislike, and if it applies, what is rubbish about this little tiny battery pack right here. Before we go ahead and get into that though, let's just get some size comparisons out of the way just in case you're somebody who's viewing this, interested in purchasing it. So first thing is, I think a common household item that anybody's going to be able to understand. This is a AA battery. Simple enough, right? This is both width as well as height. And so as you can see, it's not very big at all. This is it compared to a sort of common compact flashlight. This is the Rurco's TS10, if you're wondering. Great flashlight, really small, barely bigger than the AA that has, but it has 1400 lumens out of this tiny guy. So even if you didn't come here looking for that, you had to see it. And here is, I just had to include it because, of course, why not? This is a compact 3-inch blade pocket knife. Because anytime you can get out the Microtech, why not? Oh, and width as well. Just to kind of get an idea, an overall look. So that's sort of size out of the way. Last thing to do is let's just weigh it. Okay, so this thing weighs 4.35 ounces. So in comparison to like a common pocket knife, you know, this is kind of a light one because it's made in aluminum, but this is about 2.95 ounces. So it has a little bit of weight, but it definitely weighs about as much as, you know, again, it's a 4-ounce object, right? That's about this size and holds batteries. I mean, you're going to expect it to go ahead and be this heavy. It's not like crazily heavy or anything like that, right? But it also does have some like density and weight to it. It's not like, wow, this is light, I'm not going to know that I have this, right? So it's kind of a perfect mix in between, if you were to ask me. So with all that out of the way, let's go and jump right in. So the first thing that I like is, well, just the price point here. You know, Anker as a company is kind of known, I think, in the industry, but at least to my understanding, or the way I view it, right, as a buyer, is a kind of like top premium charging brand, right? Like if you're not going to get something directly from manufacturer, you know, you want to go with Anker. So whether it's one of their little power cubes that they make, like this one I have plugged into the wall right behind me, that's a fast charging, you know, small power brick that's about the size of the OG Apple power bricks, but instead of being a terrible 5 watts, this thing's like 20 or 25 watts. This is a really, really great option that is available. So, you know, anything that basically Anker makes, you know, is going to be pretty good, right? There has been some different complaints, which we'll go over, that have been improved on this. So first thing that I do like is just overall, you know, you're getting a reputation that is going to be reliable, that's going to work, that has been tested, and also has some of the newest technologies that are available as far as, you know, for your mobile device itself. The next thing that I do like is just this thing is pretty simple to go ahead and use, right? It's really, really nice when something isn't too complicated. So, got my wife's iPhone right here, and if you want to charge it, all you do is simply take on a MagSafe case or the back of a raw iPhone that has MagSafe technology. That would be the 12, the 13, and the 14, by the way. But basically, you just stick it on there, and it auto aligns. It also has the alignment magnet that is vertical, not just the circle magnet that you can see right here. So when you put it on, it's not going to move around. And it attaches strong to the phone. Really, really strong magnet. So that is something really to like. And as you can see, as soon as you go ahead and put it on the back, it starts charging. Now, the next thing that I do like, well, just a little bit more on that actually. This is really great because there's no fuss, no fight. No, oh, I put it on the back, but I thought it was charging, but it wasn't. It just goes right into action. But the thing that I also do like is if you don't want that to be the case, if you just want this to conveniently carry around, and for later, maybe you're going to something like a conference, right? A big meeting, a convention. Maybe you're going to a concert and you really want to make sure that your phone doesn't die on you, right? You can just press and hold for about 3-4 seconds and it turns off. No lights. The lights stay on the whole time, so if it accidentally got kicked on, you're going to know. So I do also really like that. And as you can see, it's no longer charging on the top here. So just really smart and simple. You put it on, it charges. Easy, right? Hold it, it doesn't. As well, you put the set of the bag. When's the last time I used this? Tap it. You have the 4 lights that indicate, 25, 50, 75, and 100% charge. So that's really, really nice. Added to that simplicity, another thing that I do like is the fact that this does have a USB charger. Now, I'll get into why that's even more cool in the love section. But as far as just simplicity goes, it's cool that there isn't like all these different ports or anything. It's pretty clean design. And you have USB-C just to go ahead and charge it up. Real simple, real straightforward the way that everything works. Now, as far as this device itself, one other thing that I do like is, say if you're buying this because of its compact size, but you might not have an iPhone with MagSafe. Well, what do you do there? Well, the cool thing is that this still works like a standard power bank. So, you've got this X-Tar charger here that uses a USB Type-C, and you have the USB Type-C here. And the only thing that this comes with is the battery pack, just some cheap packaging, and USB-C to C cable. So just about anything that you need, and not really much of anything that you don't. So that's something to like as well. But what we're going to go ahead and do, show how this works, is we're going to plug in this USB-C to this USB Type-C as well. And you can see it's charging like a normal power bank. So really, really cool there. So you can use it for other sorts of things. You can use it for other sorts of devices. It's not just for an iPhone, and that's it. So really cool there. Get that out of the way. Now, the other thing that I do like a lot about this is the fact that Anker power banks are kind of known for getting hot. So in this one, they've actually ended up going ahead and putting some negative temperature check technology or something along those lines. But really what you need to know is when I've used this and I've got it on the back of my phone, having it charge my phone, it got mildly warm, mildly. Like a temperature difference. That's it. That's as far as it went. Not like it got hot or it got pretty warm. It was, I could tell a temperature difference. And that was it, right? So it didn't get uncomfortable. It didn't get hot. Nothing crazy happened. It was really a nice, expectable thing, right? You're going to have batteries, that's putting energy out into this. It's going to create a little bit of heat. But it was just the most mild warmth. Nothing uncomfortable. So big ups on Anker for developing and, just addressing that right away. Really, really cool. The other thing that I do like is just the design itself. You've got these chamfered edges, which is a big thing when you have something like a pocket knife, like what I'm into. Chamfered edges make all the difference. Having that little tiny round edge instead of it being a hard, slab-sided square can really, really make the difference. So when your hand wraps around, nothing's pushing into here, nothing's pushing into here. There's no hot spots at all. You just use it, right? And because this is a strong enough magnet, you can even sort of get up under it like this. Use it as a stand. So even though you do have some more weight on the phone, you can easily end up using this to hold on to. Almost kind of has enough grip and, you know, ability to kind of feel it and distinct it, from just this big slab that is the normal phone, that it's almost a little bit of a convenience. You have something to hold on to. You have a ledge to kind of put your hand on, right? So even though it is a bulk, right, it is something that is cool and has some slight ergonomics in its design. So those are all the things that I do love or like so far about the device itself. It's simple to use. It has a simple system. You can use it as power bank for other things, and not just the iPhone, alone. It does have a strong magnet as well, and it is contoured, so it's actually comfortable in the hand. You can also turn it off, so you can have it on your phone when you're ready to use it, but you don't have to have it on. So what do I love about this? Well, I actually love the design, right? I think that Anker is always kind of changing, and with everything kind of evolving their design to be a little bit more distinct. And this is simplistic, which is great because it kind of has that Appleist, where it's like overly simplified. This is sort of that same thing. It's just square. You have the one button. You have the one hole. Everything's symmetrical, right? Other than the script writing that's on here. It's really, really nice, right? I like it because I got white because it just has that Apple thing. All of Apple's accessories are white, right? Starting with the the iPod and the earbuds that used to come with them, and that's just sort of went on from all charging wires and the actual AirPods. Sorry, I have a pair behind me, but they're kind of far away. Just not gonna worry about getting them. But you get the idea here. So I went with the white, but they do have some different colors that are also really fun. They have a sort of mint green, I think. They have a nice purple, a pink, a black, and a white. I believe that's it. They may have had a blue and it's not green. But anyways, they're nice, soft, fun colors that I think are really in the times. A lot of these, whether you're in the watch world like I am, or different sorts of hobbies, those sort of pastel or lighter colors really starting to come in. And they're not obnoxious like Easter pastels. They're a nice, tasty, color. And I ended up going with the white myself. The next thing that I do love overall, again, is the fact that this is, like I said, so simple to use. But the other thing that kind of ties in a little bit more to that is the fact that with this device itself, when you plug it into charge, again, it's just going to come back and have these lights that sort of slowly build over time. There's nothing that you have to do or no sort of special way to do this. Again, most chargers are like this, but it's always cool when you get something out of the box. You don't have to read the instructions. You just put it on. It goes to town. When it's dead, you plug it in. It tells you, how long it's going to be until it charges, and then it's done and fully light up with 4 lights when it's all done. It also tells you the blue light when it's wireless charging, or just the white light when it's just the regular output. The next thing that I do love as well, speaking of that output, is actually the input. What this does is this actually gives you another capability that is not usually available on your iPhone, and that is the fact that if you went somewhere and your phone was dead and this was dead, you can actually charge into this, bypass through, and then the wireless charging push it into the phone. This is really big because you could be somewhere where they don't have a lightning cable, but they do have Android/USB Type-C, and that means you can get your phone in action because instead of it will charge the battery and also be pumping out the wireless charging into the phone itself, getting you back in action. So no matter what you have, as long as it's not a USB micro, the old school versions of the Android, you're going to be able to get your phone back in action. And I think that is just really, really useful just for the day-to-day. So lots and lots to love about this device. And just another thing is just the fit and finish. Anker has always been really, really good, but the quality, you could feel it is here. I mean, this is like more of a polycarbonate plastic, so it is going to scratch up over time and things like that, but still, for the price you pay, not too bad. And I think that's the final thing to kind of say here is for the price you pay, you get a lot. You do get a little bit more with their higher end stuff. They're more in like the $45 range, a little bit of faster charging to charge this up, right? And you can get something that has more capacity. But, for what is important for this, iPhone limits to 7.5 watts charging. Unless it's going to be your actual Apple-based MagSafe charger that allows, I think, for about 15 watts or 14 watts. So, it doesn't matter if you get the most expensive one. If you get one that's $100, unless you're getting Apple's themselves, it's going to be 7.5. So it's nothing that I'm really tripping too much about how fast it charges out, as long as it actually sustains that maximum 7.5 that it can. But you're getting that technology, you're getting the cooling technology, you're getting this nice design that I do like a lot with this Anker script and just being simple and symmetrical, right? And the capability, again, to pass through, for about $30, maybe $32. I got this actually for $22 on an Amazon Prime Day sale. And I just think that that's really cool that they're starting to take some of their higher end technology, sort of trickle it down. So big ups to Anker on that. Now, this isn't perfect, so there is some stuff to dislike about this. We're going to jump right into that. So the first thing is, I think this is more of a statement to understand and set an expectation for yourself instead of a downer. I mean, because of course bigger battery is always best, but this is not a 0 to 100 charger. If you have an iPhone, that is a Pro Max or a Pro or a standard, right? They have bigger batteries now with the 12, 13, and 14s that have this MagSafe technology. So the fact of the matter is this is a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is bigger than the battery that comes in this phone and the Pro 14 that I'm shooting on. However, kind of like a car, you might make 700 horsepower, but to the wheels, you're only getting about 520. I use this analogy to mean that there's energy loss here. So you're not going to get every single bit of that milliamp hour shoved into the phone. What you're going to get out, whether it is wired or whether it is the battery charger, is probably about 50 to maybe, if on a really, really lucky day, 70% battery out of this battery pack. I'm probably going to say more around 65, to 55 is going to be your actual expectation. And so this is something where, you could use this if your phone dies, but it's best if your phone is not dead yet. It's in that 20%. It shows you low battery mode. Slap this on, and then it start going ahead and charging. That's the next thing to dislike. I mean, this is wireless charging, right? But this is slow, right? I think by the time that that I slapped this on my phone, that was about a 30% battery, and I was kind of having it on there for about 2.5 hours, maybe even 3, right? It just got about 82 and really wasn't pushing after it got after that 80 range, which I know that's halfway on the phone. The phone itself stops and slows down current after 80 for that last 20%, and that's any battery that exists. That's on a Tesla, that's a lithium battery, that's on your phones, right? It's going to be on headphones and everything like that. That's why you can zip to 50, on headphones, but then it's still, in about, 15 minutes, right? But then it still takes a full 2 hours to charge to 100, right? Or something like that. So this is going to charge slowly. This is going to be something that you snap, you leave on, and basically drain the whole entire way. It's not going to be something that, you put on there, it zips right up, you take off, right? So that could be annoying to somebody who doesn't like the extra weight, and they just want to in a short amount of time, charge your phone up and take it off. If that's what you want, any of these MagSafes, are not really going to be great for you, except maybe if you go with the Apple one, you can get the 14 watts, but really you're limited by the wattage of the battery. But something to take into consideration. Again, like I said, another thing to dislike, just from an expectation standpoint, is the fact that this is not going to 100% charge your modern day iPhones for you. The next thing to dislike is one thing that they did cut down on the price with this guy and save you some money is the charging speed to top this back up. On the regular one, you get quick charge ability to top it back up. So you're going to go ahead and be able to charge the 5,000 milliamp hours of the standard, nicer version of this, which I think is the 626 or 622, something like that. But that particular one can charge up about in half the time that this one can. This one's rated at about 4 hours, maybe 3.5, right? While that one's more in the 2-hour range. So if you're going to use this, drain it, and then you want to go out for the night, you might want to get like 2 of these if, that's something that you're going to be relying on these a lot. But I think for the use case scenario, it's like a backup, or for me, when I got this for work where this is charging overnight off of my work computer, I get in. I don't have a charger here at home because I'm using it to pull entire night until I go into bed. So then when I get into work and my phone's 20%, I slap this on, and no matter where I move it on my desk or if I look through a Discord or something and put it back down or I go to break, this is going to be mounted on there, so I will be charging the whole time instead of having to fiddle with it with a charging wire or like a wireless charging pad on my desk at work. It's going to go in with there wherever I go. So at least from my scenario, it's going to be good. The other thing to dislike is over its brethren. You're actually going to get cheaper materials. The other one I think is either a nice frosted plastic with like an aluminum band that is that is thinner, which is another thing to consider, or it could be even glass with metal alloy and then another flat piece right here, kind of to match the stock chassis of the sort of premiumness of a modern iPhone. This, on the other hand, to save money, is thicker. Instead of being about this thin, it's gonna be a little bit thick for sure, and it's gonna be of this plastic, which I don't think really has a problem with durability. Polycarbonate's been used on cases and even in old cell phones, and as long as you're not dropping it all the time or anything, it's gonna hold up just fine. It's rigid enough and everything, but still, some people just don't like that feel. They like that cold glass and metal feel. The other thing is because of the overall thickness, every little amount helps. So you can see when it's melted on the iPhone. With the case, it's still quite a bit taller than that iPhone, from the very bottom all the way to the top. So if I put it like this really gives you good representation of the back of the phone. See how much it's rising above. So it is definitely going to be something that you feel. And it is quite lightweight, like I said, by itself. But there is just an expectation that this is mounting on the back of the phone instead of like a wire that you have in your pocket. So whether you put this in your pocket and you're walking around or you have it in your hand, you're going to feel this, right? So just something to keep in mind, especially if it's something like my wife's phone here that is the stainless steel 12 Pro Max, right? Which is pretty heavy by itself. And then you're adding this battery on top of it. Pretty good amount of heft, so just something to keep in mind. As far as dislike with this product, I would say that there's nothing really to dislike. Again, if you want the bigger size, you want one that charges you fully up, you can get its upgraded brethren, which is the 10,000 milliamp hours. Maybe that would be the only thing, is maybe if they had a cheaper version like the 321, called like the 322, that was 10,000 milliamp hours instead of the 5,000 that is here. But again, I can't fault this product. That's just something that would be cool in the future. So realistically, there's nothing ugly about this device. So that has me wrap up with this. Would I recommend this? 100%. I think that it's just awesome. It's always cool when you have something really, really nice. Whether it is push to start, right? Screens across all your dash, everything like that launch on the nicer premium cars like Mercedes and stuff, and an LED lighting, and then eventually trickle down into your Honda Civic. And I kind of feel like this is what's happened here, right? You have the premium products that they've launched, and then this came out, and they've even added some cool features, right? Like that temperature control and everything, and just sort of changed the design so it's right in the middle. You don't have to feel around for it or remember, hey, what side is it on? Is it up here in this model or down here? It's right in the back. You can see it. You can see the lights, immediately, right? Really, really cool. You really can't, fault it as long as you have the expectation that this is not going to charge your phone like that. It's something that you're going to leave on and kind of use almost all of this or drain most of this, over time. But the main thing is that you're able to, do what it's supposed to, which is to charge your phone and stay on so it can charge all the way up. And at that, you can't really ask much more, to be honest. So, anyways, I hope you ended up liking this review. Don't do a lot of tech stuff, but whenever I get something that is really, really cool, I want to bring it to you guys. And I think that this one is definitely super duper cool, just in the way it looks and the way it functions. So if you did like this video, I hope that you go ahead and give it a like, as well as subscribe if you like content like this, or you're interested maybe in learning a little bit more about, everyday carry stuff like knives or flashlights that will help make your life easier and have a fun hobby. As well, go ahead and comment down below if you have any sort of questions. I love fellowshipping with you guys and just, answering anything that you do have. Most importantly, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video, as there's so many great content creators, especially in the tech space, that you could be watching, and you decided to click on my little video right here. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and take care. Stay safe. Peace.